The sites around here are steep, really steep. They plunge so violently into the water. And getting the balance right in a house design where you want to feel safe and secure while constantly standing on the precipice of nature can be a tricky thing. Some architects get so excited they end up building showpieces for themselves, sculptures in the landscape, structural edifices that don't relate to their client. In any good house design, in any modern family, must be able to live in it, and that must always be the central plank in an architect's design, designing for your client as well as the site. Virginia Kerridge is one architect who is gaining a reputation for designing beautiful houses tailor-made for her clients as well as the site.
The building has to enhance the landscape, and the landscape has to work with the building, and the building's also got to satisfy the client's needs. So there's a whole sort of jumble of things that the building has to do.
What is it about where water meets land which is so powerful and architects draw so much inspiration from?
Well, everyone's attracted to the water. I think water's just got that magnetism that you can't stop looking at it. And so everybody wants to be near the water. It's just got that powerful attraction.
And when you first arrived here in Castlecrag, you were faced with a site similar to this. I mean, what were your first thoughts when you visited the site?
I was a bit sort of thinking, oh my God, look how steep it is. It was 45 metres from the top of the site to the bottom. But no, really just awestruck by the beauty and by the fact that it was right on the water.
This area is obviously known for its powerful natural beauty, but Virginia, there's a rich vein of architectural heritage around here as well.
There is. There's a beautiful house by Hugh Burrick around the corner, which I'd love to show you. So.
Which you drew inspiration from?
Yes, I did.
Well, let's check that out before we get to your house.
Okay.
Now, Virginia, this area is so rich in all sorts of architectural history. Where are you taking me?
This is past a house by Hugh Burrick, which is my absolute favourite house in Sydney. Wow. And it's a little jewel.
It's special, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why has this had such an effect on you, this type of house?
Well, it's really not a house. It's a living sculpture that you live in. And it's just, I sort of marvel at the fact that someone actually built this and that the council approved it. And
gives you hope.
It's still here, and it's still one of the best houses in Sydney.
And of course, this area is also known for its Walter Burley Griffins as well.
Yeah, so it's got a bit of an architectural heritage, the area. So I guess the Walter Burley Griffin houses started that.
Yeah.
Legacy of architect.
And all those natural materials in those too respond
yeah,
to the
the stone. He used a lot of stone, a lot of flat roofs. So they really respond to the earth, and they don't tend to dominate the earth. They tend to blend in.
Does it make you nervous when you know all these great architectural minds have once thought about these sites?
Yeah, it did actually initially. And then I got used to it and I forgot about that.
You say, bugger it, I'm going to do my own.
That's right.
All right,
yeah.
Now where's your place?
Just up around the corner.
More climbing?
Yes.
The Castlecrag estate, the original part, is up towards Eastern Valley Way, so to the west of here, but it was designed by Walter Burley Griffin, the designer of Canberra and other areas around Sydney. The original idea was to have dwellings really subservient to the landscape, low-key, single-storey, just really letting the landscape dominate the area. Down the peninsula, it's still developed with the topography in mind, the bushland setting, and also the feature of the harbour, which you can see behind us.
We had looked at about 100 blocks of land to buy something, and we used to kayak from Middle Cove around here, and I used to say to you, that's where I want to live. I want to live there. And the RTA owned this land, so I probably drove the RTA mad because they couldn't sell it to you. They had to do it through sort of a public tender or an auction. And I used to say to them, when's that property going on the market? When's it going on the market?
And as Lorraine said, this area was originally going to be part of a bridge to Seaforth. That idea was canned, I think, in the late 60s or the 70s. And when we actually bought the place at the auction from the RTA, and after the auction, I was in kind of a state of, you know, nervous wreck. And we went round. Green knew the RTA people. She'd been dealing with them, and I was introduced to them for the first time. The guy said, well, you bought a nice piece of land. There's an old house. So what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to build a bridge to Seaforth.
All right, Virginia, it's been a bit of an adventure getting here, but I sense we're getting close.
We are. We're getting very close. The place is just here, actually.
Right, here it is here.
Yeah.
Well, you've taken us to a house that isn't there.
I know. Well, that was one of the ideas was that the front garden actually was sort of given back to the public so that you weren't faced with this sort of monstrosity at the street level. So the idea here was that you look over the top of the house and you can still enjoy that beautiful water view.
Absolutely.
So,
because the rest of the street you're actually blocked by the other buildings, but you've been very courteous to everyone walking by.
That's right, yeah.
So by dropping it down, then we can see right across to the other side, and we can just see the development and the houses littered all over that headland. But this house is special because it goes all the way from the street all the way down to the water.
It does, and it's a very long way too.
All right, maybe we should get started.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting thing, though. It's a different palette, already a different mixture of materials.
Yeah, well, the sandstone picks up. I mean, there's a lot of sandstone in the Castlecrag area, so that was one material that was used mainly in landscaping, and in these very low walls, which are a bit reminiscent of some of the Burley Griffin houses. So there's little elements that sort of do tie into the overall kind of area of Castlecrag.
Into the history and into the natural environment as well.
Yeah. And all the plants are all natives, so they blend, and they're all indigenous natives, indigenous to this area as well.
So it's important to make the building from the initial presentation from the street to not only address and be subtle to the street, but also respect what's already gone before.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking already. Now, from here, where do we go?
Down the stairs.
All right.
Surrounded by architectural gems, we're about to see how a modern 21st century house responds to an ever-changing environment.
Just wanted a house that was user-friendly to 4 children. Wanted an architect-designed house. Still had to find the architect. We had met Virginia. She had done a few houses. And we had an architect living in our street. And it was quite an easy process in that we decided early on that we'd hire 3 architects, get them to do the concept drawings, give them the same 20 points. And Virginia's original concept drawing was the house that we built. Not a change.
Okay, entering the castle.
Here we are.
This is a wonderful little view here, isn't it, with all the intersecting planes?
It is. You get a view through that floating roof of there's a slot of water through there and another sort of slot here.
Right, and the floating roof on the left and the cantilever here.
Yeah. It increases that sense of drama, and sort of this cantilever creates this incredibly high space, which gives it sort of great feeling as you enter the place.
And it also helps define this entry even more.
It does.
Now, I sense we're descending into somewhere which has been one of the keys to the plan, Virginia?
Well, this area was designed to be an alternative outside area for the kids, and also a sort of entrance courtyard, allowing a bit of negative space at the entry. It's also like another space to be in if the wind's blowing too hard at the front. You get a protection here.
And also, it's almost a second sense of arrival too, isn't it? You're down here,
it is.
And it's a sort of fully public and then like a semi-public entrance.
Yeah.
And from here, a little bit of sculpture.
That's right.
It's not one of your efforts, is it?
No, it's not one of mine. It's by a friend of mine, Catherine Stack. And it's based on the glass is based on a blowerfish under the microscope. Wow. Which is one of the local fish. Right. She researched the area.
Oh, very aquatic theme, isn't it? This end, what have we got here?
That's the kids' rumpus area. Yeah. So that's designed so they can make lots of noise in there. They can watch all their DVDs and shut the door, and the sound won't sort of disturb anyone else. So they can go in there and play to their heart's content.
So I'd imagine once you've been invited down here, you're almost inside.
You're almost into the inner sanctum, but not quite.